sexton. Where are you, hounds? A song from braying precentor mouths. Around your hat brim, a morning bend. My dead are many. I must follow my beers.
Well met, old gaffer.
Good evening, friend.
You're in a hurry. Why? Where are you going?
To a grave feast.
Indeed. My sight's not very good. Excuse me. Your name doesn't happen to be Pierre.
Peer Gynt, as the saying goes.
That I call luck. It is precisely Peer Gynt I am sent for tonight.
You're sent for? What do you want?
Why, see here. I'm a Button-Moulder. You're to go into my ladle.
What to do there?
To be melted up.
To be melted.
Here it is, emptied and skewered. Your grave is dug ready, your coffin bespoke. Worms in your body will live at their ease. But I have orders without delay on master's behalf to fetch your soul.
Well, it can't be. Like this, without any warning?
It's an old tradition at burials and births to appoint in secret the day of the feast, with no warning at all to the guest of honor.
Aye, that's true. My brain's a whirl. You are...
Why, I told you. A Button-Moulder.
I see. A child has many nicknames. So that's it, Peer. It is there you are to harbor. But these, my good man, are most unfair proceedings. I'm sure I deserve better treatment than this. I'm not nearly so bad as perhaps you think. I've done a good deal of good in the world. At worst, you may call me a sort of bungler, but certainly not an exceptional sinner.
Why, that is precisely the case, my friend. You're no sinner at all in the higher senses. That's why you're excused all the torture pangs in land like others, and into the casting ladle.
Give it what name you please. Call it ladle or pool, spruce ale and swipes. They are both of them beer. Avaunt from me, Satan.
You can't be so rude as to take my foot for a horse's hoof.
On horse's hoof or on fox's claws. Be off. And be careful what you're about.
My friend, you're making a great mistake. We're both in a hurry. And so to save time, I'll explain the reason for the whole affair. You are, with your own lips, told me so. No sinner on the so-called heroic scale, scarce middling even.
Ah, now you're beginning to talk common sense.
Just have patience a bit. For to call you virtuous would be a step too far.
Well, you know I have never laid claim to that.
You're not one thing, nor the other then. Only so-so. A sinner of really grandiose style is not to be met on the highways. No. It wants much more than merely to wallow in the mire. For both vigor and earnestness go to this sin.
Aye, it's very true. that remark of yours. One has to lay on, like the old berserkers.
Your friend, on the other hand, took your sin lightly.
Only outwardly, friend. Like a splash of mud.
We'll soon be at one now. The sulfur pool is no place for you who but splashed in the mire.
And in consequence, friend, I can go as I came.
No, in consequence, friend, I must melt you up.
What tricks are these you've hit upon at home here while I've been in foreign parts?
The custom as old as the snake's creation. It's designed to prevent loss of good material. You've worked at the craft, You must know that often the casting turns out, to speak plainly, mere dross. The buttons, for instance, have sometimes no loop to them. What did you do then?
Flung the rubbish away.
Yes. John Gynt was well known for a waster, so long as he'd aught left in wallet or purse. But my master, you see, he is thrifty, and that is why he is so well-to-do. He flings nothing away as entirely worthless that can be made use of as raw material. Now, you were designed for a shining button on the vest of the world, but your loop gave way. So into the waste box you must go, and then, as they phrase it, be merged in the mass.
You're surely not meaning to melt me up with Dick, Tom, and Harry into something new.
That's just what I do mean, and nothing else. We've done it already to plenty of folks. Minters do the same with money that's been current so long that its stamps worn away.
But this is the wretchedest miserliness. My dear good friend, let me get off free. A loopless button, a worn-out farthing, what is that to a man in your master's position?
Oh, so long, and inasmuch as the spirit's in one always has value as so much metal.
No, I say, no! With both teeth and claws, I'll fight against this. Sooner anything else.
But what else? Come now, be reasonable. You know you're not airy enough for heaven.
I'm not hard to content. I don't aim so high. But I won't be deprived of one morsel of myself. Have me judged by the law in the old-fashioned way. For a certain time, place me with him of the hoof, say 100 years. Come the worst to the worst. Now that is a thing that one can surely bear. For they say the torment is only moral, so it can't after all be so pyramidal. It is, as 'tis written, a mere transition. And as the fox said, one waits, there comes an hour of deliverance, one lives in seclusion and hopes in the meantime for happier days. But this other notion, to have to be merged like a mote in the carcass of some outsider, this casting ladle business, this Gynt cessation, it stirs up my innermost soul in revolt.
Oh, bless me, my dear peer. There's surely no need to get so wrought up about trifles like this. You never have been yourself at all. What then does it matter? You're dying right out.
Have I not been? I could almost laugh. Peer Gynt, then, has been something else, I suppose. No, Button-Moulder. You judge in the dark. If you could but look into my very reins, you'd find only peer there, and peer all through. Nothing else in the world, no, nor anything more.
It's impossible. Here, I've got my orders. Look, here it is in writing. Here, Gynt, shout bells summon. They have set at defiance their life's design. Clap them into the ladle with other spoilt goods.
Nonsense! They must mean some other person. Is it really Peer? It's not Rasmus or John?
Oh, it is many a day since I melted them. So come quietly now, and don't waste my time.
I'll be damned if I do. It would be a fine thing if it turned out tomorrow someone else was meant. You'd better take care of what you're at, my good man. Think of the onus you're taking upon you.
I have it in writing.
At least give me time.
What good would that do you?
I'll use it to prove that I've been myself all the days of my life, as that is the question that's in dispute.
You'll prove it. How exactly?
By vouchers and witnesses.
Sadly afraid, Master will not accept them.
Impossible! However, enough for the day, my dear man. Allow me alone with myself. I'll be back again shortly. One is born only once, and one's self, as created, one fain would stick to. Come, are we agreed?
Very well then. So be it. But remember, we meet at the next crossroads.
Now comes the pinch. Peer as never before. This Dovrish enough has passed judgment upon you. The vessel's a wreck. One must float with the spars. All else, only not to the spoilt goods heap.
Well now, Peer, have you found your voucher?
Have we reached the crossroad? Well, that's short work.
I can see on your face, as it were, a signboard, the gist of the paper before I've read it.
I got tired of the hunt. One might lose one's way.
Oh, yes. And what does it lead to after all?
True enough. In the wood. And by night as well.
Ooh, there's an old man, though, trudging. Shall we call him here?
No, let him go. He's drunk, my dear fellow.
Oh, but perhaps he might be able...
Hush! No. Let him be.
Well, shall we get on with it then?
I have only one question. What does it mean, this being oneself?
A singular question, most odd in the mouth of one who just now wasn't able.
Come, a straightforward answer.
Well, to be oneself is to slay oneself. Bet on you that answer is doubtlessly lost. And therefore we'll say to stand forth everywhere with master's intention displayed like a signboard.
But suppose one never comes to know what master meant with them.
Oh, then one must divine it.
But how often are divinings beside the mark, then one's carried off to hell mid-career?
Oh, that is certain, Peer Gynt. In default of divining, the cloven-hooved gentleman finds his best hook.
This matter's excessively complicated. See here. I no longer plead being myself. Might not be easy to get it proven. I must look on that part of my case as being lost. But just now, as I wandered alone over the heath, I felt my conscience shoe pinching me, and I said to myself, after all, you're a sinner.
You seem bent on beginning all over again.
No, very far from it. I am indeed great sinner, not only in deeds, but in words and desires. I've lived a most damnable life abroad.
Perhaps. Though, I must ask you to show me the schedule.
Well, give me time. I will find out a parson, confess with all speed, and then bring you his voucher.
Aye, if you bring me that, then it is clear you escape this business of the casting ladle. But here, I have my orders.
The paper is old. It dates, no doubt, from a long past period. At one time, I lived with disgusting slackness, went playing the prophet, and trusted in fate. Well, may I try?
But you see here, on the...
No, my dear fellow. I'm sure you can't have much to do. Here in this district, the air is so bracing, it adds an L to the people's ages. Recollect what the prophet wrote. It's seldom anyone dies in this valley.
To the next crossroads, then. But not a step further.
A priest I must catch, if it be with the tongs. Never look there. There all's desert and waste. I fear I was dead long before I died.
Good morning, Peer Gynt. Why, where's the list of your sins?
Button-Moulder. Do you think that I haven't been whistling and shouting as hard as I could?
I met no one at all.
Not a soul, but a tramping photographer.
Well, The respite is over.
Aye. Everything's over. The owl smells the daylight. Listen to its hooting.
It's the morning bell ringing.
What's that shining yonder?
Only light from a hut.
And that wailing sound?
But a woman singing.
Why? There. There I'll find the list of my sins.
Oh, set your house in order!
Set my house in order! It's there. Away. Get you gone. Though your ladle were huge as a coffin, it were too small, I tell you, for me and my sins.
Well, to the third crossroad pier. But then...
Forward and back, and it's just as far. Out and in, and it's just as straight. No. Like a wild and unending lament is the thought to come back, to go in, to go home. Roundabout, said the boy. No. This time, at least, right through. Though the path may be never so straight.